Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday Night Live. Peter and Julie on again here tonight. We're so glad you guys are here. We got a fun night to spend with you guys, so settle in. I am here in Atlanta. Julie is in pseudo Atlanta, Dahlonega. If you could see right here to my left, I got my doors wide open, got my windows wide open. It's like summertime here, Julie.
I know. Like literally before this webinar, my husband comes home and I'm like, there's two steaks in the fridge. I got a webinar tonight, but it's just so pretty outside. I made half of my calls outside today alone. Well, I know Brad Woods and Shane Ray. Brad is from Marietta. Shane is from Cumming. They always join us on Tuesday night. Thank you guys for being here. And that leads me, before we can even say anything, it literally leads me into what I'm gonna ask of you next. And I would love for everybody that's joining us in the chat, go ahead and let us know where you're from. I want to call you out. I want to just know where you're dialing in from this evening. We've got another Georgia here in the house. So in the chat, just let us know where you're from.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's a fun Tuesday night. We're going to get rolling here in just a couple minutes. Gosh, Julie, we've been doing these forever. For me, it's becoming a staple. Like usually I have things on my calendar. Like I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. I have a meeting at 10 o'clock. It's like, I think this is somewhere in my calendar, but it's like, I don't need these reminding me anymore. When we started partnering with people some years ago, a few years back, we started doing this. We've never stopped. We've never let up. So this has like become literally like a staple in my weekly calendar this next hour.
Yeah, I know. And it's so good to see where everybody's coming from. Like Russell from Buffalo, New York, Robert from Denver, Colorado, Sandra and Todd from Arkansas, Melissa Vincent from South Carolina, Wilbert Vincent from West Virginia, Karen. They are literally, they just said they're getting out of the freezer. They hit 50 degrees today. And I believe, hope I'm not messing this up, I believe they live in northern Pennsylvania. Vitaly from Portland, Oregon. Tammy here from Sandston, Virginia. They're in Massachusetts. I'm so sorry, Karen. Ken Patel is in Apple Valley, California. So no matter where you are this evening, we are glad you're here. We're glad you're spending tonight with us because, man, tonight you are in for a treat. I always think it's so important to hear from people that are succeeding, right? People that have done it. And tonight, that's what we have in store for you. We have a special guest this evening who we're going to bring on here a little bit later as we're waiting for everybody to come on. He's going to share his story with us. We're blessed that he's going to do that for everybody tonight. So super pumped about that.
Yeah, tonight's one of those things where you kind of look at other people and you say, boy, if they could do it, I could do it. And that's what these stories are all about. We're going to share with you a very special partner here in just a couple minutes. So settle in. If there's somebody that you guys have been thinking like, man, this person needs to check out the partner driven. This person needs to see what they do and who they do it with and what kind of results are possible. This is the time. You got a minute or so to call them on the phone, get them a link to this webinar, because that's really what tonight is. Tonight is really what partner driven is all about. And that is us doing deals with people across the United States and helping them in every way we can, and building dreams and chasing goals and making things happen. So we're going to get started here in just about a minute, get rocking and rolling. Again, like Julie said, let us know where you're dialing in from. It's always fun to know that. I think by now we've had people from all over the country visit us on these Tuesday night calls, and it's just exciting. It's exciting to see the people and hear their stories. And the other thing is, Julie, the one thing I always point out, this seems to be a big point of entry for us, for people to get to know us. So many of our existing partners have literally become our partners because of these Tuesday night webinars. So we've kind of figured out this has become like one of the key channels, kind of the gateway into our world. And so although we kind of mix and match and, change and exchange certain things that we do or don't do. The one thing that we are extremely loyal to is these Tuesday night calls. So we're going to get started here in just a second and get rocking and rolling. I'm just literally trying to, got this new gadget and I can't turn it on. Me and gadgets, they don't mix.
Well, I totally get it. I was trying to share this to my Facebook. I'm like, oh,
Yes, that's what I'm doing too. I'm literally trying to pop this to a Facebook, and every time I go into my own Facebook, it kicks me out. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. That's when you know you have too many people, you know, with logins into your Facebook, when your own Facebook is like has to validate that it's you.
yeah, yeah. Well, guys, you know it's really cool about this evening. We actually weren't on last Tuesday night, but one of our amazing master coaches, Barry, told you guys about Deal Driven, which if you haven't got Deal Driven by now and you know us, you are totally missing out. So if so if you would like to go back and watch that, check your email. But last week, man, was a pretty incredible week, at least for me. I think I could speak on behalf of Peter whenever I say this, but we went on this amazing trip last week that people are like, well, it's one thing to reach your dreams. It's another thing to reach dreams you didn't even know you had. Do you know what I mean? I never thought in a million years riding a yacht inside downtown Miami or renting some really cool cars and driving to Key Largo or just staying on top of the city would be as amazing as it is. But man, what a great week we had last week. Peter and his wife, Rafa, and his wife, Chelsea, me and my husband, Brian. We literally spent the entire week together doing what we love to do. And the only reason that I was able to do that is literally because of this business. And that's just some of the things we're going to share with you tonight. And I really hope that our guest is going to inspire you to do the same thing. He's at the very beginning of this path. And, I always say this, your first deal is the most important deal. And that sounds nuts. You're like, well, no, the most important deal is when you're making tons of money. No, to me, the most important deal is your first deal. Because once you've done your first deal, then you have confidence in yourself to be able to get out and do more and more and more. And that's something money can't buy. It's just that level of confidence is not something you can buy. It's something that happens when you get your first deal done. So super excited for him to share his journey tonight. But I do want all of you guys to hear about the program Partner Driven that Peter's about to tell you about. This is something that our guest was, followed exactly step by step and got a deal done. So Peter, what is our Partner Driven program?
Well, let's go ahead and get rolling, Julie. You're absolutely right. And there's two types of people on here tonight. Some of you guys are our partners. And if you're already a partner, you know what Partner Driven is all about. But today you're going to take your faith and belief to the next level. I promise you. Some of you guys are not part of the Partner Driven world, part of what we call the Partner Driven family. And you're checking us out. Some of you guys are here, like this is your last checkout point. Like you're here for the final time. And tonight you're ready to make you're ready to make a decision about what it is to be a partner and what it means to do deals with us. But in summary, basically what we do at Partner Driven is we provide what we call the pillars of success when it comes to doing real estate deals to everyday people. And so as a result of that, we literally enable our partners to do real estate deals. And we do that by providing 4 or 5 essential components, what we call, like I said, the pillars of success. Number one, we coach and mentor our partners pretty much on a daily basis. That's a very important thing. This is not a business where you want to just kind of off the cuff it, try to figure it out and hope for the best. Number two, we provide back office support. Again, I say it all the time. Nobody gets into real estate because they want to do some paperwork or back office stuff. But guess what? If you want to close a deal, you better be ready to do some paperwork and some back office stuff. So our back office, in essence, becomes our partner's back office. Next, we help with lead gen. Lead gen is a very important thing in real estate, not only not only from a standpoint of lead gen, but also from a standpoint of what kind of leads do you even want to go after? What kind of sellers do you want to go after? What kind of sources do you want to go after? We provide all that to our partners. Once the deals are identified, we provide all the capital and the infrastructure to work those deals and to get those deals and to close on those deals. And then we simply put them in the market, sell them, and split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And that is the partner-driven model. So if you're here tonight and you're like, you know what, I've heard you, I've listened to you, I've been talking to a team member, I just want to make sure at the right place at the right time, and tonight you're ready to rock and roll, there will be a couple of team members, or there are a couple of team members on standby, and they're available, and that could be put into your chat at 770-746-8585. That's 770-746-8585. If you're at the very, very beginning of your partner-driven journey, and you're just like for the first time listening to us tonight, then you just need to go to the best starting point is literally our website. And I'm sure somebody could put that information into the chat also. And that is the way to get started in terms of finding out and learning what the partner-driven world's all about. So when Julie and I do these Tuesday night webinars, we put them into like what I call categories. Like sometimes Julie and I will get up here and we'll teach. Like last week, Julie was just referencing, we had one of our partners, one of our master coaches, Barry, on here, and he was teaching. He was teaching about our incredible deal-driven app. By the way, we provide that also. We provide the most essential technology that is needed to be a successful real estate investor. So sometimes we teach, sometimes we educate, like about a technique or maybe a strategy. Sometimes Julie and I just kind of tell our story, like, hey, we've been there, done that, like, let me tell you where we came from and all this. So we go into many different directions, but I think one of our favorite things to do here is to showcase our partners. That is like one of our favorite things to do when we have the ability to come on Tuesday and really just talk to one of our partners, just to basically share. So you guys get in that feel, well, who are these partners? Where are these partners? What do they look like? Are they millionaires when they get started? Do they come from the right side of the tracks? Did they have it easy? Did they have it hard? And that tonight's one of those special nights. And if you've been with us for these nights, in the end, these turn out to be, I think, our most popular nights. Like a lot of times when people like ask me, or they're like, well, I heard about you because I watched one of those webinars. And the interesting thing is it's very rarely, and you taught this amazing negotiations technique. And so I joined the partner driven. It's never like that. Although, I think those are informative and it kind of validates that Julie and I will know what they're doing. Almost always across the board, when people reference these Tuesday night webinars, it's always from the standpoint, oh my God, it's when you had that guy on there, or it's when you had that lady on there. And it's like, man, if they can do it. And I could tell you like, and Julie, I'm sure you remember, but like I remember having guys like, our partner out of Antonio out of Chicago on one of these webinars. And then literally, guys, when I met Antonio, now take yourself back about a year, maybe a little bit longer than a year and about 4 months into July. That's when I met Antonio, and I met him in Chicago. He was a partner. I came in there because back then we didn't have a ton of partners. So I was actually able to go visit our new partners. And Antonio got some things going pretty quickly. I still remember this story. Antonio literally met me in a car in an airport. And if anyone's been to Chicago, like in July, the only word that comes to mind is hot. Well, Antonio had all his windows rolled down. I'm like, Antonio, dude, let's crank up the heat. Let's crank up the air. Let's roll up the windows. Bottom line is he couldn't even afford a car with air conditioning. And beyond that, he couldn't even afford $40 or $50 to cost to rent a car for a day. Not that I'm anyone special, but I was a guy that he was somewhat looking up to back then on all this. And 3 or 4 months later, we had cranked out 4 deals with Antonio. And that's a very popular webinar. And I remember having him on, and it was just really, really emotional. Or I remember talking to Seth, an incredible partner that Julie was just referencing that we spent last week in Miami. Well, what a lot of you don't know is Seth, one of our partners, spent the last 3 days with us in Miami. And I remember having him in a webinar, and he and I reminiscing about the day when we met Seth, and Seth never told me this story, and it was a little while until Julie told me this story. But when we met Seth years ago now, Seth couldn't afford to get married, like couldn't afford to get married. He had a wedding date set, and it was either like spend the couple bucks that he had saved on the wedding or move it towards the real estate business. And he told Julie that day, he's like, hey, I'm going for broke. And I remember having Seth on a webinar when he went for broke and not only made enough to get married to Bree, but now we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals together. Or I remember the webinar where I had Chris on the phone on a webinar. And literally in the middle of the webinar, Chris just broke down because of what this business has done to Chris and out of Florida. And the day he met Julie, when he had to go on 4 buses across Jacksonville. And so as I look back at these webinars and the partners we've had, they're always amazing stories. They're always very positive stories. They're stories of struggle also. We always tell our partners, don't sugarcoat anything. Be yourself. We don't script these out. They're very inspirational in the end. And so tonight I'm going to flip this over to Julie here in just a minute, but we got a really special gentleman on tonight. And this gentleman reminds me of me 20 some years ago from a perspective of back against the wall. See, 20 some years ago when I got started in this business, I inadvertently put my back against the wall. And how I did that was because I lost all the money I had. You know, when you have a couple bucks, right? When you have a couple bucks, you have some options. And when I got started in this business, I was maybe one of the unusual people. I don't know if I was unusual or not, but I actually had some money. I had about $500,000 I had saved up from a previous business venture. And so what that gave me is they gave me a little cushion, okay? But what I then proceeded to do is I lost it all 6 months later. And then the next couple months, I actually lost another $200,000 because I went into credit card debt. So I put my, to a tune of about $700,000, I really put my back against the wall many years ago in this business. I put myself where I had no cushion. I had no options. I couldn't just get like a $50,000 a year job. You know how long that would take to replace $700,000 of debt? Like I'd be in debt for the rest of my life trying to pay down those credit cards and everything else the mess that created. And I wasn't really educated enough to, perform brain surgery on people. So couldn't be a brain surgeon, couldn't be a rocket scientist. So my back against the wall. And you're going to hear our partner Ed here in a little bit talk about how he actually kind of got his back against the wall. And so I could relate to that. But most importantly, and I think aren't we going to see him next week, Julie, also?
Yeah, next weekend.
Next week, we actually have about 15 of our partners. We did a little challenge here a couple of weeks ago, and we had 15 of our partners qualify through this channel, and they're going to all come into Atlanta for a day of fun. It's not going to be like, we're going to learn, I'm sure. We're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk, but you know what? We're like, we're ready to start having fun. It looks like at least we're in the latter stages of this pandemic we've been in for a year or so. It looks like things are getting, and I'm like, I've been I'm like, we got to have people and then Julie, a month or so ago, went to another live event from a friend of ours, and a bunch of partners showed up there, and she's like, okay, this is cool. Let's figure something out. So we did a little challenge, and Ed, along with 14 or 15 other partners, are coming in next weekend, and we're going to hang out. We're going to have fun. We got a little party bus. We're going to check out really cool things in Atlanta. We're going to go around. And so that's going to give a chance for Julie and I to really even connect with Ed even more. So
I have a special surprise.
Tell me.
So I'm so excited about seeing these partners. And by the way, next Saturday night, we're going to be at your lake house, right?
We are.
So we're going to do a cocktail party in person and virtual.
Tell me more.
Well, what I'm imagining is like we're going to have our cocktail party and dinner for our partners that are coming in, but I say we do a virtual cocktail party. Who on this call thinks that's a good idea or would like to join us? That can't be there, so that we can have the people that are there. We can have a virtual cocktail party with those, so they can talk to people on the other side. Anybody think that's a good idea? I hope some of y'all answer. Don't make me look bad or leave me hanging. Thank you.
He's like, Yeah, and if you remember a couple months ago, well, it was more than a couple months now. It was no, it was a couple months ago. It was in the middle of COVID. We had a live virtual event where it was all about teaching and educating. And then that night, if you remember, we did a virtual, I guess, cocktail party. We started at 6, and if I'm correct, we went to like 12 o'clock that night. It was unbelievable. And so, yeah, I think we'll have another experience like that coming up next week. So having said all this, I'm going to flip this over to Julie here in just a minute. Ed, if you don't mind, Ed Lindsay, make yourself live. Unmute yourself. There you go. So Ed, hey, first of all, welcome, Ed. By the way, Ed, you're an amazing dude. We talk about you a lot. A lot of partners talk about you. We celebrate your success that you had here a week or two ago, where we closed our deal together. You're a great guy. I cannot wait for Julie to kind of connect with you here in the next minute or so and kind of go back and forth. But Ed's a partner. Ed, I'm so glad you're a partner. You're a detailed guy. I learned that today. I'm not going to tell how, but I learned today that Ed is about details, and I love you because you know why? You remind me of my parents, because my parents are like PhDs, rocket scientists, and I'm like fly by the seat of my pants. So today I learned you're a detailed guy, and I love that. It reminds me especially of my dad. So without further ado, Ed and Julie, I'm going to flip it over to you, and I'm going to let you take over the show here for a little bit.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm so excited. He's already got a warm welcome, Mr. Ed Lindsay. Everybody in the chat, give Ed some love. Give me some thumbs up, some hand raises, some yes. So glad to have you. It's harder than you can imagine to be on camera like this. So I appreciate everybody giving him some love. Okay, Ed, I'm going to ask you some hard questions, possibly. And I want you to answer because I want everybody to understand kind of where you came from. So my first memory of you, and I know we met before this because you were on some of our live daily training calls. Because by the way, at Partner Driven, we do live daily training calls Monday through Friday. And Ed is always there. He was there in the beginning to learn. Now he's there to learn and to give back to other people. But my first memory of you is we had a scheduled call together, and I was walking through my garage. I was literally walking down my driveway, as I do a lot of times when I'm talking to partners. And you said something to me that I'll never forget. You said, my job ends blank day. I'm doing this full time. And what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to explain to everyone what went on at that point. And then this was not even that long ago, right? This was just a few months back. What actually happened back then?
1st of January, I worked in power company making coal-fired power plant, making electricity. And the environmental people just started hammering the plant, and the county people started hammering the plant. And we were probably one of the cleanest plants in Maryland, but just all the stories about electricity, it just got, we were running 24/7 as much as we could put out. And then the environmental people got a hold of us, and then they started shutting us down, and we'd only run a couple hours every week, maybe, and then it just got to the point where they couldn't, keep people on, and they gave us like a 90-day warning, and January 1st was my last day.
Man, how long you worked there?
15 years.
15 years. I mean, did you like it there?
It was a good paying job, but I mean, it had good things and bad. I mean, it was a nasty, dirty job.
Yeah.
I was an industrial millwright, so I learned how to work on the power plants and do all that kind of stuff. And I got a job there, and it's 20 minutes from my house. So that was
yeah,
was a nice thing,
That is nice, not to have to spend all that money on gas. And two, one thing I hate about driving a long way to somewhere, it's just like the time is such an inconvenience. You know what I mean? Well, I want to take it back to January 1st. what made you decide, and I know Ed a little bit, and I know he's working on lots of different things. I know you just didn't decide January 1st to go full-time into real estate, did you?
Well, I kind of go back a ways in real estate. I was 87, I probably started getting into it, but what do they say? The students, where the instructor shows up when the student's ready or something like that.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I'm a construction guy. I was an iron worker, welder, that kind of good stuff. And so real estate was not in my terminology. And so I just wasn't ready, but I was a seminar junkie for a while, been to a whole bunch of stuff, and always wanted to do it, but never had any money, so I couldn't, do it on my own. And really it was just not having the money is why I probably didn't get involved in it before getting involved with partner driven.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about, because that was a big step, January 1st, in my opinion, for you to not go get another job, another job, right?
Right.
What was it about like partner driven, or really you, that made you realize that like I can do this, right? I mean, I want everybody on this call to put yourself in Ed's shoes. And Ed, I don't mean to hone down on this, because I would be scared too, to be sitting there and know that that's your last day at your job, and now I'm going to do this. What about now, 2021, partner driven or in yourself? What happened that made you think I got this?
I guess combination of things. I was tired of people telling me to be where I needed to be and do what wanted them what they wanted me to do, and stay as long as they wanted me to stay, and just not having any control. And I'm 63, so I didn't really want to go get another job. So I said, now's the time, and it must just be it's probably him working up there saying, hey, it's time for you to do what you know how to do, or what you've been taught, and do it, and partner driven was the key I needed, to a missing piece that I didn't have before. So that was probably, helped it work. But because I think I got on with you guys around December, maybe a little earlier than that,
Mhm.
but day one of my getting laid off was kind of, well, it wasn't laid off, it was terminated, and that was scary. And I think I probably went through about 2, 3 weeks of just kind of getting used to the new life. And then I, got a deal, and I was waiting for it to close and things to happen with that, and then it finally closed. So that was good. That was, kind of like the icing on, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, that is so incredible. Let's go to this first deal, right? Um, tell tell me about how did you find this first deal?
Well, some of the programs that you guys were telling us about, I got on Amplify My Business, which is just it's a CRM with marketing. They'll do email and texting and things like that, and then they run Facebook ads. And
Mhm.
I got that lead through Amplify.
Was this a house you visited?
Well, I spoke to him on the phone, and I got the lead on Amplify. I crunched the numbers. I looked at, I go to Trulia, I go to Zillow, I go to Deal Driven, because you can get 3 numbers from Deal Driven. They have an average comps there, so I look at the same size property. No, I just did the numbers, and then I had all the numbers down. I was ready to go. And I asked him, well, how much do you want for the property? And he gave me a number, and that was way below my numbers. So I
What?
said, okay, I'll go for it. I mean, I just said, okay, when can we meet? And I went up there not really knowing what I was doing. I didn't even have a contract with Peter's name on it. So I went up there, I got a blank contract and went up there, and I just got him to sign it. didn't explain the stuff on the contract to him. And then that came up later on in the deal. And I said, well, look at chapter 13 or verse, whatever 13 on it. And that explained paragraph 13. That's what it was. But then it just, I had a couple little things I had to work over with him, and it just finally got to closing, and it closed. But thank you.
Well, man, what a great story. But I've got to hit on something that you just said. And by the way, I hear your beautiful bride in the background. And Ed told me all about you the other week, by the way, and pictures of you and everything. And that's another thing we didn't talk about earlier. But not only is it hard to like leave your job and go into real estate full time, but I'm sure as a man, you feel like you have this responsibility to take care of your household, right?
Yep.
And to have somebody on the other side that believes in you that much, that's incredible. So, congratulations, to her. I'm so happy about that. But you said this one thing that like got me thinking. What you didn't do is you didn't throw out a number, did you?
No, I didn't. The first thing I did, and I think we all should do is what is it? The rule that he who mentions numbers first loses.
Absolutely.
So he said the number first, and I just went with it and said, okay, sounds good to me.
Wow. So guys, you just learned something from a master. Okay. What Ed just told you is something you guys could all take and learn today, which is always ask the asking price. Try to get the asking price from the seller. Because this happens all the time. I've seen it, Ed, it's happened with me, is what their asking price was actually lower than what I was going to offer in the first place. So then you go to the appointment, right? You go meet the seller. So what were your next steps after you went to take a look at the house? Did you take any photos?
I took photos, and then second time I went up there, I got on Zillow and I found the highest rated real estate agent in the area, and then talked to him, found out he'd worked with investors, and I had talked to another real estate agent that was closer to me that had more experience with working with investors. And the one that I had in this house was in Pennsylvania, and the realtor, he wasn't familiar with investors and our putting our contract in. So I got the other agent to call him and explain it to him, and they got shared lawyers and all that kind of good stuff, and so he was on board with it after that. But I went up and took pictures. I walked around the place. I got the realtor, his favorite contractor, to come over at the same time, and we walked through, and the realtor told me what kind of things needed to be fixed to make it a presentable property. Because at the time I was thinking about flipping it, and doing the repairs and flipping it. And then he was saying, change this stuff. And the guy had just done a whole bunch of work on it, but his pain was it was his wife's house, and they went through a divorce, and he was living with his girlfriend part-time, and he just wanted to get rid of the house. But
Yeah.
he'd put new floors in it, new air conditioning, a whole bunch of new stuff, and but it wasn't completed. So I had a contractor in there, and he gave me a little estimate on what needed to be fixed according to the real estate agent, and then we just kind of waited till it closed. And of course, when the new buyer came in there, somehow he got a hold of that estimate for repairs, and they came back with a counter. So I think we met them halfway on that. But I mean, the house checked out pretty good. It didn't have any problems, I don't think, not too many.
Yeah. Well, so you were there. Not only were you able to get kind of a price that worked for you, but it seems to me like when you went there, you took the time to understand what the seller was going through.
Right. Well, I didn't really get the whole details at first, but after meeting with him a couple times and on the phone a bunch of times, I got to know the whole story, and then, I was kind of staying away from him because I wanted the deal to close. So I didn't really
Yeah.
want to open my mouth too much to maybe ruin something, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof right now, and I'm sure everybody else is. What did you get the house under contract for?
I think it was 72.
72,000. Okay.
I think it was.
So, so now, guys, we're walking through the way that we here at Partner Driven buy or place something under contract and sell it utilizing a real estate agent. Okay. That's what makes us here at Partner Driven, a little bit different, because when you utilize that strategy, you actually have to double close on the property. And that's where Peter comes in and gives 100% of the capital to get that deal closed. Even if it's just a transactional funding, then we split profits 50-50. Okay, so Ed, so you got it under contract for 72, and you told me the story about meeting these realtors, right?
Right.
I think you talked about two. So which one of those two did you end up choosing to list your investment property?
Matt Kellum, I think is his last name, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. So what did Matt list the property for?
I think it was 140.
140?
Yeah, 140, 130, something like that.
Okay. And then,
I think we listed it for 140, and a buyer come in and asked for a discount. We came down 10, and then they did their inspection, and that's when they countered with 7,500, which was 7,500, which was the estimate from the contractor, and I think we met them halfway on that.
gotcha.
But check it
So,
out. This guy went through the back office of Peters. They found out he owed 78 on the house. So we had it under contract for 72. So he came to the closing table with money to close that deal.
stop it. Stop it. It's too much. Stop. No, you went way too fast, Ed. Okay. So the property was under contract for 72,000.
Right.
So we get like right here, right before closing, and he owed how much?
Well, it wasn't before closing. It was probably a month in, and I told him about it, that he owed 78 on the property, and you
How'd
had
you
it
know
under,
that? How'd you know that?
because the back office, Mary told me.
Okay, got it. And so 72 to 78 was what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6 grand?
Yep.
So you're telling me the seller sold you the house and gave you 6,000 to buy it, really, to get
Yep.
it closed?
Yep.
What? That's nuts. How did you get him to do that?
I just told him the facts and shut up.
God, again, another gem from you, Ed, another gem. You talked about like doing this since, or looking at being in real estate since 1986. I think that's
Yep.
what you told, 87.
Yep.
I think you picked up a few things along the way.
Well, I was a seminar junkie. Heck, Pete and I's paths crossed a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think one of the people I was a trainee with, and Mark Evans. And
No.
then Peter knew Mark Evans.
Yeah, they're buddies to this day. Okay, so now we've got the seller committed to 72. The realtors was finally came down to 130, but then you guys had to split that 7,500, right?
No, no, it came, oh yeah, that's right. The 7,500 counter on the repair work.
Yep.
After they got an inspection, they came back with that 72, or I think that's what it was.
So roundabout, you had to give another concession of $3,850 then, right?
Right.
So then our sales price would have been at 126,250, somewhere around there,
Right.
right? Then we've got to pay closing costs. We got to pay the realtor commission, right?
Right.
Okay, so bum, in the end, you got a lead. You negotiated it with the seller. Now that you're looking back, was it that hard to do that?
Heck no, not really. You know, I mean,
You think you're gonna, how many more, do you think you're gonna do another one?
heck yeah, I got probably, I don't know, I got one that's a pretty good one. Hopefully it'll go through, but
Yeah.
then I've got a couple others I'm working on, but they're not ready yet. They're still in the pipeline. They're still talking to me. So
Ed, okay, so I'm getting way too excited because like you doing this was like, makes me super happy. So in the end, you got under contract for 72. What profit margin did you and Peter split?
34,
34,
34, 35,000.
what, on a wholesale deal?
Yep.
Guys, that's flipping amazing. I made like 3 grand my first deal, which was, I believe me, I was super excited about. Congratulations to that, guys. Everybody in the chat, show Ed some love. Show Ed some love and how amazing it would be to be able to split $35,000 on your first deal. Now, so Pam says, great job, Ed. You're seeing it? Wilbert says, great. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, guys. Y'all are amazing watching tonight, giving him some love. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, give him 2 thumbs up, Ed.
Yeah.
So, it's cool to make the money, right? Now, the money's cool. It gives, but to me, doing that first deal is more than about making that money. Do you know why? You'll remember this deal the rest of your life. But there isn't no amount of money that is going to replace the confidence of you completing a deal. That's why I wanted to have you on tonight. Would you be willing to tell other people, does it feel different now that you've done a deal? Does it seem more attainable to you? Because it seems like you got all this stuff in your pipeline. I mean, you better not be stopping now.
I'm not going to stop now. And it's not really about the money. The money is pretty cool. It helps you do things, but our business is helping people, in a roundabout way. What is one of our people says, doing good while doing good, or something like that. We can help people. Like I'm working on a deal. It's in Tennessee, and this guy's got a house that's been sitting down there. He's out of town all the time. And, I found out that today talking to him that it's like it's getting something off that he needs to do, get rid of it, and I negotiated him down, but I can't really negotiate him down anymore because he owes, 60 couple on the house. So, but one of my first questions was, would you sell it for what you owe on it? And he says, well, yeah, I could do that, so
What?
you got to ask the questions, and think about, couple strategies, and depending on what they first say, where you go with the next strategy, kind of, but I think the number one is he who mentions numbers first.
They're not the winner. I mean, I definitely, get that negotiation. Okay, Ed, one question for you. Well, I got a couple more questions. I keep saying that. If, let's say someone's watching this right now, whether they're with Partner Driven, whether they're doing it on their own, and they've wanted for 20 something years to be in real estate, but they've always been afraid to take that step like you did. what advice do you have for that person?
Well, I'm going to say what Tony Robbins says. Click your fingers and just say, what if I was 10 times bolder? What could I do? And just do it. You know?
Yes, 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 Ed. You are an inspiration to people tonight.
You
You
get
are
me
10 times.
you're up. Hey, you can all do it. Anybody can do it. It's nice being here with the partner-driven team because there's a whole bunch of us that are trying to do it, and we're trying to do better, and we're trying to help each other. You know, it's just with Peter's wallet. You know, we got the money to do the deals. You know, just make the numbers work, and then go start low and work your way up to the max you can. I mean, you can't buy every house, and some will get away, but because the numbers aren't right, and you just got to be totally numbers, but you can think, a little bit about the people that you're helping. Some people don't realize the trouble they're in, and you just got to help them sometimes.
Yes, yes. Well, Ed, let's look at it a different side. What if tonight somebody was like you probably were November, December, and they're thinking, is partner driven just another company? It's going to take my money, and I might learn some things online, but are are they the company? Are they the staff, the people that could possibly, care about my success or could help me? How do you feel? And I'm not talking about Peter and I. We're talking about the Bobs, the Barrys, the Marys, the Lauras, the all the people on our staff. What would you say to somebody sitting on the fence wondering if partner driven's right for them?
Well, I'd say it's a family, really. It's a family, a bunch of people that want to do things and help each other. Because I mean, there's technology that's available. There's leads that are available. There's just stuff we can use in the trade, in the business that Deal Driven has, and the coaches. You can every day you can get coaching. So if you want, you can call up and get a coaching call. Or I mean, they'll walk you through it. You guys will walk us through stuff where if we have hangups, and then a lot of the partners will help other partners and figuring stuff out. It's not real hard business if you got the right tools and support. It's just kind of a numbers thing, and you gotta call a lot of people and talk to a lot of people, and you gotta let people know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about marketing. It's using some tools that you get, and use them and make sure that just doing the numbers, and the information's available to find out what these properties are worth. It's just learning how to use it. Or a lot of people don't know this stuff's out there to help them. But hey, if it wasn't for partner driven, I wouldn't have done my first deal. So it's like, what can I say about that?
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Well, you have been, I met you in person in Dallas. You have been, and I'm going to meet you and your wife, which I'm the most excited about, next weekend.
She said,
Um,
I'll drag her down there. She said she didn't want it. She's scared to fly.
Girl, you better come. I want to see you. Well, either way, we'll, definitely see each other in the future. But Ed, you've been an inspiration to me. I thank you for being a part of Partner Driven, because in my eyes, you are partner driven. You're the entire reason why we set this up. And I can't wait to talk to you 5, 10 years from now to see all of the deals that you have done, because I know good and well it's never going to stop. And thank you for being here tonight and thank you for giving yourself to us tonight. I'm going to ask just one last favor. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm good at asking favors. I just keep asking, right? If you had one piece of advice
Hmm.
on how to jumpstart your real estate investing business, what would it be?
Well, I'd say getting partner driven and just do it. Get the education you need, and you got the tools here with partner driven, and Peter will help you get the money. So that's all you need, and they got the back team. They do all the office stuff. All you got to do is get yourself out there and find the people that want to that need to sell their house, and put the two together, put everything together. Don't be scared. Just go out there and do it. The first one will, might be rough. The second, third, fourth one might be rough, but you'll get better. It's like, be yourself. Just, that's more than one thing, but
So that's some great advice. Well, Ed, that's all I have, Peter.
Sorry, I've been chewing candy here, so I had myself on mute. Yeah, I mean, Ed, great stuff. I mean, I love personally, I love hearing stories of people that become successful or on their way to success. I mean, to me, that's beyond just what Partner Gym is all about. That's what I'm all about. Like, I'm all about that stuff. So, Ed, congratulations. I can't
thank
wait to
you.
see. I can't wait to see you in about 8 or 9 days. We're gonna have some fun together, and I hope your wife, like Julie says, is able to join us. But let's do a bunch of more deals. Let's keep on showcasing what you're doing. Let's help people. Let's like use the partner-driven stage as a way for you to help inspire and help other people out. But you're a great guy. You're an amazing dude. Ed, I'm going to let you sign off. Julie and I are going to take a couple minutes, finish off here. But listen, thank you to you and your wife for taking the time tonight. I guess Julie said she's in the background somewhere. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you guys both. And we'll see you here in the next weekend, actually. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you a lot. It means a lot coming from both of you guys. Really does. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, Ed.
Appreciate it. Well, that was good stuff, Julie. I mean, really, in the end, what can we say, right? I mean, when we started the partner-driven model, it was really just about us doing some more deals, right? We never really, I'd like to think right now that we just came into this thing because we just wanted to help so many people across the world. And maybe you did. I mean, I know you got that kind of side to you, but in the beginning, to me, it was just, how do we get more deals done? How do we get more deals done? How do we get more deals done? And so the partner-driven concept for me was developed from that side. And here we are a number of years later, and now our partners are our friends. Our partners are the ones that we want to hang out with. Our partners are the ones that we want to do things with. And right now, literally partner-driven model, for me personally, has taken a totally different meaning than it was before. It is now truly us helping everyday people, just like Ed and his wife, do deals across the United States and then split the profits with them. We have some big goals this year. We got next weekend, we got 15 partners that qualified to come out here. That's going to be exciting. We got 3 closings for the lake house, and we're flying them out and hanging out with you and I at the lake house. Mm-hmm. We got 20 partners closing deals and me going out to see them. And the big personal goal that you and I, Julie, have is by the end of the year, get to the point where at least every day we have a different partner closing a deal. And I feel very confident in the direction we're heading in and the things that we're doing. And so for those of you that are here tonight and you're a partner, guys, we want to get you on the stage. We want you to be another Ed. We want you to be Ed times 10 and 20 and 30. So if you're a partner here tonight, let's get you to the next level, guys. It's as simple as that. If you're not a partner here tonight, but you're like, okay, I just needed to see something like this and I'm all in your chat, there's a phone number and it's 770-746-8585. So if you're ready, that means you've probably already been talking to a team member. You already know what it means to be a partner and you're ready to get rocking and rolling. Just call that number here now. And there's a couple team members on standby and they'll get you rocking and rolling. Or if this was your first kind of like chance to look at partner driven and you're like, this looks pretty cool, but I need to start from zero and kind of build my journey through here, then you just need to go to www.partnerdriven.com. And I'm sure that's also in your chat. So on behalf of myself, Julie, and most importantly, the partner driven team behind us that makes all this possible and makes everything that Ed did possible, by the way, because they're the ones who got him the contract. They're the ones who got him the comps. They're the ones who got him to the university. They're the ones who held their hands. They're the ones who closed the deal. They're the ones who helped him find the buyers. They're the ones who pretty much all the way through the process walked Ed through this deal. And then we're able to split $30-some thousand. So on behalf of all of those people, again, my name is Peter Vexelman. I got Julie Muse on the other side. I'm signing off, and we will see you guys here same time, same place next week.